evening. This is Piga Suleiman Yamido, Research and Conflict and Democracy. Today I'm going to introduce to you our new channel. This is Democracy in French, but Democracies if you want in English. The main idea of this platform is to give voice to people in Africa and all over the world who really want to discuss the issue of democracy and conflict, mainly to bring knowledge, relevant evidence-based knowledge and fact to Africans to better understand the world, the way it's going, so that we can help to build a very strong and resilient continent and also non-violent peace and conflict resolution in Africa, which is very important for economic development. It increase people education and well-being. Today, issue of democracy in Africa is a very pressing issue, and all of those and the advocate, proponent of democracy know the issue of that. When you say democracy Africa, we have a lot of people who disagree with the idea of implementing democracy in Africa because they still believe that democracy is a Western value, a Western thing. So trying to promote democracy in Africa is to be a traitor, or at least you're trying to recolonize Africa because the ideas and the values of democracy are not meant for Africa. But some people say democracy has the universal values, right? So the issue of freedom, human rights is not only a European thing, it's a human value. So anyway, the discussion is open. Here we have exposed the issue of what is the best regime for Africans? What is the type of governance Africans really want for the people, for themselves, and how we're going to bring it to help Africans, right, to be able to have a resilient, strong economy, also be respected all over the world. This is a key and the critical thing we are going to address, and hopefully a lot of people are going to bring ideas, share with us, and we're going to see how it's going to help us to find the best way to do this. Another very important issue is the issue of conflict, right? We know that African is suffering from conflict for decades and centuries, like from terrorism, ethnic and communal conflict, and all the things. They are really, really traumatizing. There's a lot of Africans, there are a lot of internally displaced Africans, and employment is increasing, economic is collapsing, a lot of coups is happening in Africa. And this is a very pressing issue, and I think we should address this issue if you really want Africa to be stable, to provide to the people of Africans what is important for them to grow and to be respected abroad and everywhere. So this is also a critical point. So these are the issues that we would like to talk in this channel, and I hope that we have a lot of viewpoint, a lot of kind of sharing ideas to move forward. The idea is not to share truth here, because as researchers we know we are always in the case of knowledge and we are open to different viewpoints. You can disagree or agree. That's what is important for democracy, right? The most important thing for you is to say what you think about how things are going, how they should go. That's the most important thing here. The one point I'm going to raise issue today for this part is about the issue of conflict that's happened right now in Russia, and then the way in Ukraine. But what I'm going to take it in a way that I'm going to speak to African, most importantly. First of all, is the way Trump treated Zelensky, and the world was shocked. The world was shocked to see Trump treating Zelensky as and naturally he said that you have no cards, right, to say you have to listen to us, do the way we want. If not, we are going to withdraw and let you fight the way you want to fight. So the world was shocked to hear that. But what I want to say is what's happened to Zelensky is not new for Africans. Most of Africans countries and presidents have suffered from that. You can see the case of Gbagbo in Ivory Coast. You can see a lot of many countries doing that. So many coup d'etat happens in Africa. There is a very interesting book written by a Frenchman called the Lecture de la République that you can read, that also gives you insight about. So what I'm saying here is this is a real politics, right? No one cared about your own people, and you can't trust anyone else to defend your country. You have to work hard to have the card, to have a higher bargaining power if you really want to make the things to move in the way that is going to be good for your people. Another interesting thing is in mineral deal. It's costly, and there's no reason for anyone else to allow the people to die for you for free. And this is what Africa knows that, and we've been paying for that for decades, right? Even right now as we speak, right, there is a kind of agreement between US and the Congo regarding the mineral deals in Congo, right? So this happened, and this is not, it should be, if it's shocking for the case of Ukraine, that's naturally, it should be shocking for everywhere, and we have to speak about it to find a solution that protects the small, the weaker against the stronger, if this is what we think it is. And then we have to be more open in mind, right? No one should benefit better attention than anyone else, though we as Africans, we have to fight for it. Another interesting point is to understand that no one is going to protect you to defend your continent, your people on your behalf for free. We've seen it with Europeans. Today they just realized that you can't give the defense to the US. They have to fight. And recently here in London, and we have seen French and different European leaders met to discuss about the future defense, right? This is it. So it means in African, we have to understand that it's opportunity for us. This situation where lines are moving, different blocks are forming. It's very important for us as Africans to start, not to wait, to meet all of the leadership, to think about how we are going to build a strong defense for Africa. No one should think that Russia, China, US, France, or Europeans are going to build it for us. It might take time because in short run, even like the Europeans even know that in short run they won't be able to be independent from the US, but they work for it with the intention of being free, independent from the US defense in the coming mid and long term. That should be the same. Think about how we're going to build this strong military defense for Africa. Sheikh Diop said that before. There is no economic development without security, right? Security comes first and development second. So Africans have to see that that's an opportunity for us to build a very strong military defense. We have to meet now, first think security first, and then the opportunity for us to meet and talk about that. So I think this is something that is important for us. And I think if African countries try to bring together, we might have something to do about what is happening. So this is a small point, but this is this kind of issue that we'll be talking and discussing here. And as I said before, everyone would need to share idea to participate in this talk and this discussion. You're free to send an email, contact us. We are going to give you this platform to discuss and inform the people so that to have very critical debate. The most important thing for us is at the end of the day, we have to be able to understand what is going on and how as African we can bring the key policy that is important for defense, for economic growth, for security, and most importantly for non-violent conflict resolution and peace building. If we don't do that right now, if we don't do that as lines are moving, as blocks are forming, it's going to be very hard for us to try to find our way in the world where different blocks are already established. Every lines are moving. Europeans are reorganizing the economy and the military system. Americans are going to see that things are moving in Europe. They have also to adapt. China and Russia, everyone is trying to position themselves geopolitically. And I think it's time for Africa to not be waiting and be passive, but they have to be also aggressive, take a step ahead and try to think about the best way for us to build a strong and resilient military system, militarily different architecture that's going to protect Africans and help us to be able to defend it. Otherwise, if you have to rely on Europe, US, China, Russia for our defense, we are going to trade our minerals, and trading our minerals meaning we are trading our economic growth, meaning we are going to push our people to be unemployed, to be in a difficult situation, and they are going to be easy attracted by conflict or extremist narrative, and they're going to get into the illegal economy, war economy, and these are going to be extremely worse for the future of Africa, where most of the people are very young. So this is very important. So let's open the discussion, and I hope we're going to have great time talking together, sharing together, having a very small community where we can think critically of things and try to see what is the best way for us to move forward as African and as a human, because this is also a human goal, right? The human thing, human values to have peace and economic growth and well-being for everyone in the world. Thank you, and then see you for the next talk and the next discussion.